In a quiet Bradenton neighborhood on a warm September evening, the air is shattered by panic. Not from a storm or a natural disaster, but from something far more intimate. A young woman, gun in hand, rushes to a neighbor's door, trembling and crying. She has just done the unthinkable. She shot her husband. But why? What unfolds next is a chilling tale of passion, manipulation, custody battles, and a fatal encounter that would leave a father dead, a mother behind bars, and a daughter without parents. This is the story of Ashley Benfield, and a marriage that started in a whirlwind and ended in tragedy. Ashley Benfield, just 24 years old, was known for her beauty and grace. A former ballerina and swimwear model, she carried the glow of youth and ambition. Doug Benfield, 54, was a seasoned businessman, confident, charismatic, and twice her age. They met at a political function in 2016. Their connection was immediate. Within 13 days, the couple was married. Friends and family watched in disbelief. Some called it a fairy tale. Others, a red flag waving in plain sight. The couple moved to South Carolina, along with Doug's teenage daughter, Ava, who was still grieving the loss of her mother. Ashley, just a few years older than Ava, stepped into the role of stepmother, a transition that would prove far from smooth. Despite outward appearances, tensions simmered behind closed doors. Ashley brought with her dreams of opening a progressive ballet company. Doug, wanting to please his new wife, helped launch it. But the endeavor faltered. Promises to young dancers went unfulfilled. Funds dried up, and the dream dissolved. So did their marriage. Ashley moved to Florida to live with her mother. Soon after, she discovered she was pregnant with Doug's child. Their contact was minimal. Ashley filed for a domestic violence restraining order, citing volatile behavior and emotional abuse. She claimed Doug had once fired a gun into their kitchen ceiling during an argument. A warning shot, she believed. She also recounted instances of animal cruelty and physical intimidation. Doug, however, painted a different picture, that of a woman orchestrating separation with a hidden agenda, sole custody of their unborn child. As custody battles unfolded in two states, Doug sought legal recourse to remain involved in his child's life. Florida courts ruled in his favor, finding no credible evidence of Ashley's abuse claims. To some, Ashley was a frightened mother trying to shield her child from danger. To others, especially in the courtroom, she was seen as manipulative and unstable. Despite the court's ruling, Doug and Ashley appeared to reconcile, at least publicly. But those close to Ashley say it was merely survival, a tactic used by many domestic violence victims to placate their abusers. By 2020, Ashley had inherited a home in Maryland from her grandmother. She was ready to leave Florida behind. And Doug. On September 27, 2020, Doug arrived at Ashley's mother's home with a U-Haul. He was there to help her move to Maryland. Ashley's mother took their toddler daughter Emerson to the park. Doug and Ashley were left alone to pack. According to reports, Doug grew increasingly irate. As they passed each other in the hallway, he allegedly shoulder-checked Ashley twice. A silent, physical warning. He later jabbed her in the ribs with a cardboard box. When Ashley asked him to leave, Doug refused. He allegedly declared he had the right to stay, that he was still her husband. Ashley attempted to leave. Doug, she said, blocked her path and slapped her across the face. Panicked, she fled to her bedroom and grabbed a gun. Doug followed. Ashley claimed he stood in the doorway, adrenaline surging, eyes locked on her. He reportedly said, "You're done." Fearing for her life, Ashley fired. She kept firing until the gun jammed. Within seconds, Ashley was outside, sobbing, screaming, weapons still in hand. A neighbor, alarmed, called 911. Deputies arrived to find Doug Benfield inside, bleeding from gunshot wounds to the leg and chest. He was rushed to the hospital but died shortly after. Ashley, visibly distressed, cooperated with authorities. Initially treated as a potential victim of domestic violence, she was not immediately charged. However, a deeper investigation was underway. Nearly 4 years after the shooting, Ashley Benfield's trial opened in Bradenton. She faced a second-degree murder charge, but pled not guilty, claiming self-defense. Doug's daughter, Ava, now older and poised, took the stand. She testified that her father had never raised a hand to anyone, let alone Ashley. Her voice cracked as she described Ashley's emotional outbursts and what she called temper tantrums. Investigators and experts testified on both sides. Some supported Ashley's fear. Others cast doubt on her timeline and behavior. Evidence revealed she had told a counselor she intended to move to Maryland in hopes of securing full custody under that state's laws. Prosecutors argued this supported premeditation. Ashley took the stand in her own defense. She spoke of a life dominated by fear, of intimidation, manipulation, and violence. She recounted the shooting incident in 2017, when Doug allegedly fired a bullet into their kitchen ceiling while holding her at gunpoint. She described animal abuse, financial control, and emotional trauma. Her voice broke when she said she believed Doug would take her child from her, or worse. On cross-examination, the prosecution questioned her motives. If Doug was so dangerous, why had she invited him to help her move? Why did she allow herself to be alone with him? Ashley struggled to answer. The prosecution insisted this was not self-defense. It was a calculated act, born out of custody desperation. She had an agenda, the state attorney said, and after she shot him, she got what she wanted: sole custody. The defense countered, Ashley was an abuse survivor, pushed to the brink. Her actions, they argued, were a last resort. After 6.5 hours of deliberation, the jury returned a verdict: guilty of manslaughter. Ashley Benfield was sentenced to 20 years in state prison, followed by 10 years of probation. In court, Ava Benfield wore a jacket with red hearts stitched onto the spots where her father had been shot. In her victim impact statement, she asked the question that echoed through the courtroom: why? Why did you orphan your own daughter and kill the only parent I had left? The Ashley Benfield case stirred a deep and difficult conversation about domestic violence, custody, and justice. To some, Ashley is a survivor, a woman trapped in a nightmare. To others, she is a manipulator, one who used the system to remove a man from her life permanently. But for Ava and Emerson, the two young girls caught in the crossfire, the outcome remains the same. One man is dead. One woman is in prison, and 2 daughters are left to carry the weight of a story that will haunt them forever. This is Twisted Vows. Stay safe. Stay aware.